Good evening, my fellow Americans. I want to reach you on today and to share with you a few things. I was asked about my platform, and so I'm going to give you a brief word on my platform and my stand on certain issues. The whole political parties, Democratic, Republican, even independents right now, everybody is so caught up with this Donald Trump impeachment thing that we have lost sight on what is important to the American people. And we need to get back to the business at hand. We need to pay attention to what's going on. Now I've heard, I'm not sure how the truthful this is, or how much truth this has in it. But I've heard, and there's a lot of rumors going out about this as well, that Donald Trump is using this impeachment to advance for his advancement in the 2020 election. It's also been rumored that, of course, he may get impeached by the Democratic Party, but when he gets by the House, but when he gets to the Senate, they'll kick him. Meaning, they are not going to hear the voices of the American people, even though polls show that 50% of the American people want him not only impeached, but also out of office, and the other, I believe it was 48% wants him impeached but stay in office. So again, we're not going with polls, but I'm just sharing some of the details that as I, like everybody else, American citizens, been paying close attention to. But I believe we're wasting a lot of time and a lot of energy on this impeachment. Whether there was a quid pro or not, it already been approved that there have been. There was bribery. It's been proven that Donald Trump lies. Seemingly everything comes out of his mouth is a lie. But anyway, we're not into that. I'm not here to bash this man on this video, or I'm not into bash anyone. However, I am stating a point that we need to get back into the business at hand, and that is the American people. So my platform will be, I will fight for every American citizen in the United States, no matter who you are, what background you came from, what your ethnicity is, where you live, whether you're upper class, middle class, lower class. I will fight for every American's right in the United States. And it doesn't matter if you're immigrant or otherwise, it doesn't matter. If you are a citizen here in the United States or have applied for citizenship in the United States, you are entitled to the rights of those that were born and raised here. Also, the United States Virgin Island and Puerto Rico. And of course Alaska and all them. Alaska is a part of the United States, but just want to make sure we cover all the territories as well. If you're part of the United States, we want to let you know that we are fighting for you. Not big corporations, not big banks, the American people, and what's right for the American people. I want to put on here just a note to our allies, especially on this administration, my administration. We see you, and we know we lost a lot of ground with you due to the present administration. And we want to let you know that We are there for you if you need us, and we will be there continually for our allies. And that we have deep admiration and respect for you, and we want you to continue to work with the United States in spite of all the bad publicity and the way our present, like I said, administration is acting. I don't want you to look at us as if we're done, because we're not. We just got to change. It's called regime change. We need to change leadership, and we need to put everything back in perspective and let our allies know you're just as much as important to us as our American citizens, as our American citizens are as important to the government. So we want to let you know that we will not, again, under this administration anyway, disrespect you, and we will not leave you hanging in your hour in need. This will never happen again under this administration. So I just want to let you guys know that we care, and we, we respect you guys, and we're there for you. A short note to our enemies, the ones that don't really care about us for some reason. We may be down, but we're fighters. And we're still the number one superpower in the world. Do not take our weakness. Do not take our moment for weakness. You mess with one of us, you mess with us all. And we will fight. We will stand for liberty. We will stand for justice, and we will stand as proud Americans. And we will stand, and we will be proclaimed the most powerful nation in the world. And we will not go away in the dark. Do not think that this is an opportunity for you to take a chance to strike at us, because you will utterly and utmost fail in your attempts. Do not test us. This is not the time to test us. Do not try to, in any way, to downgrade us or disrespect us. Because, like I said, if you come at us, we will come at you 100-fold. In some cases, without warning. This is your fair warning. Don't let what the past regime has failed to do protect this country, and has basically opened the doors to allow you guys to think that we're weak and we're vulnerable, and it's a good time to strike. I would not advise it. Do not think you're going to walk in on this country and try to take us by surprise. It's not going to happen. Just wanted to say that to our enemies, let them know under this administration, we will stand strong and we will stand proud, and you will not overtake us. You want to deal with us with diplomacy? We will deal with foreign policies with diplomacy. If you don't want to deal with us, that's fine. Then we won't deal with you. Just the way it goes. End the conversation. Now, again, back to my platform. My platform is that it's going to be that we're going to stand for the American people no matter what. My policies on abortion is just saying, is this. I stand for pro-life. A innocent child should not be subject to death, a death sentence, voided or murdered, or murdered, as any life has a God-given right to live, and rights as an American citizen to life, liberty. My position is the same in rape and incest situations. The fetus done no wrong, and didn't ask to be here. They may not have a voice as of yet. We are their voices. If these little ones could talk, they would say, "Why are you killing me?" So my position on abortion is very strong. Abortion will stop in this country, because no child should be aborted unless there's a situation where the mother and the child is in danger. And it's basically left up to the doctor and the family decision as to which way they want to go with this. This is not a legislative process. It's not executive process. That would be determined by the doctors of that family to make that decision. When it becomes a executive process is when I pass bills to Congress to change the laws that are on the books. That no abortion in any state will be allowed under any given circumstances, except if it's endangering the life of the baby, the mother, and that child. Then that decision will be left to their doctor and to their medical physician and the family. Not Planned Parenthood, clinical advice, their own personal doctors. So again, the laws are a little been tweaked and been turned and been flipped. I know it's not a popular decision to make, but under this administration, that will change. Pro-choice is fine with me as long as sexual education is being taught, and these clinics, Planned Parenthood clinics, are offering advice to these mothers that decide that they do not want to go full term with this child, or if they're going full term with this child, that to have immediate the child is born, to talk adoption and put the child up adoption. That's the only way they will receive funds from the government. If there are any clinics out there that is against this and want to continue with abortions, and they found out, their clinic will be shut down. That would be, and charged. Charges will be filed and possibly jail time. Again, that's one of the things I'm going to be working hard with in Congress, trying to get that bill passed. Because the United States' hands are drenched red with the blood of our youth, because we're killing them. And for no reason. Another thing, we're going to talk about the death penalty. No one has the right to kill anyone, no matter what they've done. And I know there's some heinous crimes out there. My family has been a victim of heinous crimes. And no matter how, we would love to capture the person or persons that taken away our loved ones. Death penalty will not be a decision that we would like to make. It's basically banned in most states. I believe there's 15, to my knowledge, if I'm understanding correctly, there's about 15 states that still hold death penalties. And we're going to pass laws that death penalty will be completely erased, eradicated. If you are that kind of offender under maximum security with no hope of parole, you will spend the rest of your wonderful life in prison. Also, we will be talking about capital punishment or capital crime. What is it? I think we have our own definition of what capital crime is. We will be looking into that and making it very understandable to everyone what it is and how the government will intervene on a state level or a governmental level if we have to. We try to let their own individual states handle certain when it comes to certain things, but there are federal guidelines. And if those guidelines are being dismissed or dismantled in some cases, then it would affect the executive branch and the U.S. government. So, we're going to be talking about that. I will be working diligently hard on that. Now, I don't know if you know if this is to be true or not, but if Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, your president, remains in office or he returns back to office in 2020 or wins the election in 2020 and he returns back to his seat in 2021, they're going to rewrite the Constitution. And when I say that, they're talking about church and state. And they're going to make it so that every church is subject under one religion and under one worship day. This is not the Constitution. It never was in the Constitution. There's no such thing as church and state in the Constitution. It's been twisted, contorted, and turned around, and there's been a debate, a philosophical debate, and a sociological debate on church and state. And the differences between what the church feels about it and the state feels about it. Again, this is not in the Constitution. It never exists. It never existed. And it wasn't written in the Constitution of the United States of America. But they are considering changing the Constitution so it will read that the state can take over the church. Or the church has to fully abide by the laws of the state when it comes to the state telling the church when and where and how and what they are to teach and preach to their parishioners. This is what they're trying to do. But there are some states that already have been working with this. Also, the church and state, they also, and now don't get twisted what I'm about to say. The LGBTQ community is no longer a community now, as an activist group, believe it or not. And they're pressing for laws for the church to allow them to participate in various offices. And if they don't, that they can sue or take that organization to the highest court in the land, Supreme Court, if necessary, to force the church to bow down to this new agenda, lifestyle, if you please. This is what's going on, whether you guys pay attention to it or not. And I'm supposed to pay attention to it. I'm running for president, so therefore I need to know everything they're pulling behind the scenes. One thing that we said, you want real truth? You want truth? Oh, you want change, should I say? And you want real change? Vote truth in 2020. And the reason why I said vote for George Wilson, vote George Wilson for Truth 2020 is because no more lies, no more hidden agendas, no more stuff hidden behind the scenes. The American people will know where their tax dollars is going. The American people will know what's going on in government to a degree. And the reason why I said degree, because certain things about government we're not supposed to know. That's for our protection. At least that's what he said. But anyway, I have to abide by the certain rules. But White House press corps, the White House news channel, all the news outlets are being given a gag order as to what they can say and how they can say it. Don't use certain keywords, because certain keywords will, now you'll have an uproar. However, whether we tell the American people we don't, there's always going to be an outrage, uproar somewhere. Somebody's not going to agree with you anyway. You can't please everybody, but you can try to make the laws fair to everybody. So, they have other agendas, by the way. Again, I'll deal with that at another time. But again, I don't believe anybody, and I protect the rights of all those people that are straight, by the way, that no one should have to be felt inferior to anybody. When you look at people as people and not as alternate lifestyles and try to make everybody else fit your lifestyle, then we can coexist. But when you're trying to make everybody fit your lifestyle, now you got anarchy. And then the same thing with straight people trying to make gays or those with alternate lifestyles live their type of lifestyle, which is the natural way, however, but with Congress passing new laws every day for this activist group now, it's no longer a community. Community means in a small little area in social America where those that live that particular lifestyle will in your little community. No, they've gotten larger, they've gotten global, and now they become activist groups. And they have a powerful following in the government, unfortunately. And I believe in civil rights. I believe in the rights of every American people. I would never try to change the rights of anyone. However, no one is to be discriminated upon under any given circumstances. Don't care who you are, whether it be racial, whether it be verbal, even in writing, or basically attack of your character. However, the Constitution, the laws protect the rights of every American citizen, your rights to this, that, or the other. And you got to read all the articles, understand of the Constitution of the United States of America. But the law should not protect an agenda, a hidden agenda, or choice. If you choose to steal, the law should not protect you because you're a thief. Of course, you need to pay the penalty for stealing. You work, you buy whatever it is that you're trying to get, not steal it. If you kill someone, the law should not protect you to say that it's okay, he killed somebody, he can go back on the streets. No. Laws should not protect murderers. The law should be fair to all of us. Put that person behind bars for the rest of their life. If the capital crime fits the punishment. Again. And the law should not have to be bent to protect a choice. Simply meaning if you choose this lifestyle, you should not expect the law to protect your choice. Protect you as a human being, protect you as who you are as a person, and your rights under the Constitution, but not for choice. And right now, the way the laws are, frivolous laws that they made on the books, is protecting the choice. And those of us are made to bow according to the new law they have, to it's punishable to a fine, or depending on how bad it is, at least how they perceive how bad it is, jail time. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair. That's not the law being fair. That's the law being biased and partial, not impartial. And I don't think it's fair to everybody else. Neither to the church and not to every American citizen. I don't think it's fair. And I'm going to work hard to take that particular law off the books. You don't have to like me. I'm doing what's right, what's fair for the American people. You're not going to find a candidate that will stand up for this issue. Because why? It's unpopular. Why? Because it starts stirring the nest. Why? Because nobody wants to look down the barrel of a smoking gun and realize that's the gun that shot the fatal shot. Nobody wants to look down, wants to be the one to admit that the NRA is selling weapons of mass destruction by the truckload or the tons load, and these guns are getting on the streets in hands that they shouldn't even be in. The laws are not stiff enough for the NRA. Why? Because everybody on Capitol Hill is an NRA card-toting member. Meaning they're stretching the laws that's saying that you can protect your rights, you can protect yourself. It's left from being in the house for protection to your car, which is, they got all kinds of concealment certificates or whatever it is, saying you can carry your gun in the car, you can carry your gun in your car. But it shouldn't be loaded. Well, why would you have a gun in your car if it's not loaded? It's not making any sense to me. And then they're allowing people outside of law enforcement or military to carry loaded firearms on the street. And they had so much trouble with stand your ground laws that they had to take it off the books because people were shooting people and saying I was felt for my life and I was standing my ground. Folks were dying needlessly because somebody felt like they wanted to shoot somebody and they knew that the law would protect them. So you don't hear that stand your ground law anymore. But does it stop the guns from being on the streets? No. It's not enough to do a strenuous background check. Because to me, I come to find out the government is missing stuff. They're letting stuff slide to put guns in these people's hands. If you have mental issues, you got no business with a gun, period. If you've been under any mental position for any length of time, regardless if it's just slight schizophrenia or whatever, You don't need a gun. Sorry. It's not about licensing. It's not about the manufacturer so much. It is because they put it out there where you can, if you can't, you put bans on these type of weapons, they're saying fine. But they're putting it in these magazines, and these people are ordering parts to build their own. It's just as bad as you selling them. Civil laws should be enforced. If a child takes a gun to school and hurts someone, the parents ought to pay the penalty, especially if the gun is registered to them. Well, I can't be around my child 24/7. Well, you need to have that thing locked up so he can't get to it. Or should I say, better put away that he doesn't know where you put it? Just saying. These are laws that we need to stiffen, make so hard that if your child takes your gun out that house, that is you that's going to be spending some very serious time behind bars. And you better pray it's not a federal offense to you. And the child's going away forever. Especially if he kills somebody. He won't be paroled until at least 50 to 75 years. So if he's only 10 and kills somebody, he'll be about 85 years before he's up for parole. This is how we control some of what's going on the streets. The problem is not even with all of this. The problem is how we get these guns off the streets. And out of the hand of the gangs. And out of the hands of the gangbangers. And all the thieves and those folks that have become society's worst enemy. That's what we need to be working with. How to get these guns off the street. Nobody's talking about that. We're talking about licensing and all this other stuff and the government doing this. What are we doing about getting these guns off the street? And buybacks is okay if you can get them to sell you all of their guns. Now you might buy back some, but what happens when you put these guns into evidence? Do they get destroyed immediately, or do they sit in evidence lockup till some crooked cop, I'm sorry to put it like that, goes in and decides he wants to resell these ammunition and these guns for a profit? And then you say, hey, this gun was taken off the streets years ago. Why is it back on the street, the same gun that killed somebody 7 to 10 years earlier? See what I mean? If they're taken off the streets, they should be set up for immediate meltdown, destruction. Don't hold them in the evidence locker. It's time to destroy them. Just like we after those that grow illegal marijuana, we should be after those that have illegal guns. The illegal gun runners, illegal gun shows. It's time to get these guns off the streets. And bring the Constitution back to where the article of the Constitution, your Second Amendment right to bear arms to protect your house, not in your car, not in your pocket on the streets, not at the mall, in your home. That's what the Constitution says. And it says, the article of the Constitution says, keeping it in your house for protection, not anywhere else. And we're too slack on the laws when it comes to guns. And we need to do something about it. So we will be talking about that, and I'm going to continue on. I'm done. One last thing we're going to talk about is DACA. Of course, there's Social Security, health care, affordable health care, affordable prescription, Those are other things we're going to be working with, but we're going to talk about the immigration reform, because there's a lot of stuff going on with that that to me I call funky. No parent should be stripped of their child, or the child would be left to a U.S. government to fend for themselves through the system. Even if it was illegal, they came over here illegal, but they came over here for a reason. They left their country because something was going on, and they were trying to find a better life for their children. Their children should not be held accountable for their parents' action. This DACA program was brought under the Obama administration. Under the Trump administration, he wanted to destroy it and send all the illegals, which he called illegals, back across the border to homes that they either no longer know or never even knew. And then they put DACA on hold because it was stirred up a big hornet's nest, and it became a political thing. You don't hear the president talking too much about DACA anymore. Or he hasn't made up his mind what he's going to do one way or the other when it comes to this issue. We're going to bring it home once and for all. And we're going to fix it. But those young people that were brought over here illegally, that are now grown, they went to college, got double majors, are working in this society, have U.S. papers as a U.S. citizen, or have already applied and waiting for their citizenship, they will not, and they're being held for their citizenship, and they're being not given visas, and their green cards are expiring, and they're not renewing them because of this program that Donald Trump has put a freeze on, hoping that their visas or whatever they're on right now expire so they would have a right to say they gotta go. It's illegal, and it's against all constitutional rights to do this. They are U.S. citizens. They've been here all their lives. They're not criminals. They have no trouble with the law. They obey the law. They're part of the economy. They work in the system. And they're providing for themselves and taking care of their families if they have family. This should not be stripped from them because a prejudiced government, or should I say president, that doesn't like anybody that stands up to him, anybody that's not like him, anybody that's trying to run against him or don't see his views. It's time to stand up, stand strong, stand united, and be proud to be an American citizen. I'm proud to be an American. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America. I approve this message.